Coming up in today's episode.
We are starting with our food tour.
And we are starting with the famous fish sandwich.
Not for me, it's very fishy.
Oh my god, this is amazing. This is amazing. The chicken, the chops.
They're the one thing that's really showing up the whole time, which is so cool, is the mosques are everywhere. But let's just turn, then you'll see another mosque, and with another mosque. So it's literally everywhere. It's so beautiful. Now, first off, we went to the Blue Mosque, but it was not as cool as we thought it would be. It was actually a bit of a disappointment.
And then finally we were on board back.
Oh, so we thought. Bum bum bum, because now something happened. It is one of those bucket list places that you really have to go to. I'm very glad that we went, but I'm also very happy that the hot air balloons actually went up. Well, that food was a flop.
It's giving me all the feels.
We are here, but we can't find the entrance. So there's a reason we came early in the morning, because just check all of the people. It's very nice fun, but this whole day people have been staring at us like in crazy.
We're Quentin and Yeni,
two guys trying to visit 40 countries before we turn 40.
We're taking the world on by trying to explore different countries, cultures, food, and by being as adventurous as possible.
We decided to film all of this for our future selves to look back on for one day when we are older. So let's go on a Kiwi travel adventure. Hello. We are back. Here we go. We are on our way to Turkey, Istanbul. So as we arrived to Istanbul, we had a beautiful bird's eye view. It was absolutely spectacular because you could basically see where the Asian and the European sides connect with the bridge as well, and you started seeing all the various different mosques from there. But it was truly beautiful to see how we arrived, and then from there on we landed, and then we went obviously through immigration. It was a beautiful airport, truly, but we will explore that later in the next video. And then we needed to head towards the train station, so we got the Istanbul card, got to the train station, hopped onto the train, which was very efficient. After we hopped off the train, we needed to get onto the bus, and then obviously from the bus we started heading towards our hotel, but this also took a while. So basically to get from the airport right up to our hotel took about an hour and a half with public transport. So, but yes, what the prices are concerned, we did that because public transport costed us only about 30 Rand, but doing it with a taxi would have been 700 Rand. So it was a no-brainer to save money. And then yes, we had some beautiful views as we were driving to our hotel, and then we finally arrived. Hello, we have just arrived in Istanbul. We are super excited. We are at the My Boutique Hotel. So we are right on the top floor, so we've got some awesome views. This is the biggest room, so this is great. So let's start on over on this side. So first off, we have our bathroom in here. So if you come on in, then we've got the toilet, of course, over there. And then obviously on this side over here, we've got the shower over here. Cool. So yes, and now you will see we've got some kitchness going on. Heavy kitsch, we call it Istanbul kitchness. And this is the bed or the boudoir with its mirroring and very interesting background. All classic kitchness, and then we've got a little seat over here as well, so you can just rest over here, and then we can have some breakfast here in the morning. We've got TV over there together with a very much needed aircon. It is quite humid at this stage. And then we've actually got a bit of a view, which is really beautiful. So let's have a look at this view. It is stunning of Istanbul. so cool at this stage. Love it. We just had to get a Red Bull. It is, what time is it now? 6:30?
Yeah, 6:30.
Quarter, 6:30. So yeah, we are quickly about to explore, so we don't have much time. And just check there, there's the Galata Tower, which is so cool, and you can see it from our room. And yeah, we're quickly going to go and grab some dinner, and we're starting our food tour, which we are very excited about. And then yeah, we're just going to enjoy it. We had to quickly get Red Bull because we are a little bit tired, but we need the energy because we don't have a lot of time here. The one thing we quickly have to talk about as well is the awesome transport. Okay, well, I know we are walking right now because it's only like a 10-minute walk to where we are going, but like the bus system, everything works on the Istanbul card, which is absolutely awesome. So you get the train, the tram and everything. So that's how we got here, and it's cheap. It's like what, 7 rand, 10 lira per trip, which is great. We just quickly had to stop on our way to where we're about to go and have some the famous fish burger. But on the way there, the one thing that's really showing up the whole time, which is so cool, is the mosques are everywhere. The Turkish mosque. Okay, well, obviously we are in Turkey, so it makes sense. But like in for real, just check behind us there. But let's just turn, then you'll see another mosque, and with another mosque. So it's literally everywhere. It's so beautiful. We are starting with our food tour.
And we are starting with the famous fish sandwich. So here goes the first bite. You're not gonna like it.
Is it fishy? Oh, it smells very fishy. Not for me, it's very fishy. Next up on our street food tour, we've got some corn that you can decide either if you want it to be cooked or fried, or barbecued or whatever. And then we've got chestnuts roasting on an open fire, which we've never had before. Let's try this. So let's try the chestnuts roasted. That's what it looks like. It's not what you think it would taste like. It's just like interesting. Next up, we're trying some corn. Definitely better than the fish and the chestnuts. It's cool. It tastes like it has in South Africa. So let's try the pide at Bambi Cafe. It's 50 years old, so it must be something. This is amazing. The chicken, the chips, everything in here, the way it is grilled. Here, right behind me. The chicken is it's brilliant. Fresh fruit, some potatoes, some jam. It's wonderful. What are you having?
We are having Islak. It's a wheat burger. Here we go. This is fantastic.
This is nice. It's very beefy, but this is, I think, the taste we've wanted all night long.
Yeah, and this is proper.
This is awesome, yo. Let's try the famous baklava. It's like one flavor starting and then another one and then another one. And it's not actually so sweet.
It isn't sweet at all.
And this one has pistachio on it and it's really not sweet. This is our first one, but not the last one.
Definitely not the last.
So after we were done with our food tour, we obviously saw the Yeni Cami Mosque, and then we started heading on our way back towards the hotel. So yes, by the end of the day, we were extremely tired. Good morning.
It's a new day in the workroom, and we are on our way hiking up the hill to the beautiful and glorious mosque, which we don't know what the name is.
Süleymaniye, something like that. We'll leave it in the description down below. Yeah, so it's a rainy morning, as you can see. But we decided to switch the program up because we don't want to go to Hagia Sophia and Blue Mosque with it being rainy, because we want some beautiful pictures. I think we've just arrived, so let's start the day. Woo-hoo. And then we finally arrived at the Süleymaniye Mosque. This was truly beautiful. This is also one of the biggest mosques, and also interesting fact, this is also one of the highest mosques in Istanbul. So we started just on the outside of it. It was raining a little bit, but it was beautiful to see all of the grass plains around it. And then together with that, we started walking in towards the courtyard side of it to also see what that looks like. Luckily, because we were so early, there weren't a lot of people. I think there was like one tour group coming in, but the majority of it we could shoot without people, which was truly beautiful.
Now, as per usual, when you enter a mosque, you need to remove your footwear and you need to be covered. Females from head to toe, men, knees need to be covered. And we made our way inside. Now, the first glimpse that you get is absolutely stunning because they have these high raised ceilings and these absolutely beautiful rounded lights that would just come all the way down, reaching your head tip.
And then the rain started clearing up, so we headed back out. And then we obviously, which makes this mosque iconic, is obviously, like I said, the views, because it's right on the mountaintop. You could see the incredible views here of Istanbul. This is obviously the views more specifically of the European side of it, so you could see towards the Galata Tower, so that was cool. And then it started raining and we needed to start going towards the Grand Bazaar to get some cover.
As we headed to the Grand Bazaar, it was quite difficulty trying to navigate our way there, but we finally arrived there, and as we made our way closer to the Grand Bazaar, we saw that everything was closed and most of the Grand Bazaar was closed as well. So we just looked at the shops that were open and we scouted for some sneakers and some shirts and to see what they have there, and then also just try out some local food.
Okay, so Quentin is going to try this local thing that we can see everywhere, because I'm always the guinea pig. It's, what do you call this?
Ayran.
Ayran. There you go, Quentin.
It's it's sourish, but it tastes familiar. It's almost like a Greek yogurt kind of a thing.
Nice.
It's like a drinkable Greek yogurt kind of a thing, just a little bit more sour.
Yogurt. It's yogurt.
Oh yeah, but just a plain flavor.
Yeah, a plain one, yeah.
And then from there on, yes, we took the tram to go to the Galata Tower. So the thing with the Galata Tower is you have to start right at the bottom. Now the Galata Tower is also on a hill, so that's how Istanbul is. It's very hilly, so it's basically walking up and down. But the tram only stops at the bottom, so you need to walk up. So we started walking and then we went into a little curio shop. Vianney got some things there, and then we finally got to it and we got closer and we finally saw the Galata Tower.
And to top it all off, we had the perfect spot in the famous restaurant where we would look upon the beautiful Galata Tower.
We are having a Turkish coffee for the first time. I think the perfect place to do it is here at the Galata Tower, which is where we are sitting. So it's the perfect place to have it. Even though it's raining, so the rain is on and off and on and off, but we have decided to make the best out of the situation. So we are continuing. I'm not sure how to drink this, but this is the Turkish coffee. Oh, it's very strong and it smells better. It tastes like PISS. I don't know how to explain it, yeah.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
After our cheesecake experience, we walked around the Galata Tower, walked around the streets there, and just enjoyed and took in everything that was just so absolutely beautiful. Along the cobble streets, we made our way to Istiklal Street.
So, as we arrived to Istiklal Street, it was just around the corner of the Galata Tower. We started literally right at the bottom and started working our way right through up to the top. So, as we were walking, it's basically the famous shopping street of Istanbul. So, it's got all of the famous shops and so forth, all your Zara's, H&M's, those kind of things. But they also have these little red carts where you can get some summits, which is exactly what we did. So, we are in Istiklal Street. As you can see, it is busy, but it is a Sunday. Everything else is closed actually in frickin' Istanbul,
Yes,
except for
everything.
this street. So we are happy to be here. Finally, we've got some simmets. Just here behind Vianney, there you go. We've got some simmets. We've got one with cheese and one with
Nutella.
Nutella. Let's try
Go.
this.
1, 2, 3, go.
I've got the cheese, Vianney's got the Nutella.
The bread is divine.
So nice. So this is literally, I think, 10 rand for one. 10, 15 rand, somewhere there.
I think this will be better salt.
Ah,
It really is nice.
10 seconds later.
oh, very nice. You're gonna like that one, and I prefer this one. I prefer this one. We know each other. They're salty and here's sweet.
That's not the case usually. Just as one.
But then it started raining, like and pouring, so we were looking for shelter again. But this time we didn't find a mosque, we found a Catholic church.
And this church was absolutely stunning. It was called St. Anthony's Church, and as you enter, it was this absolutely beautiful serenade, Gregorian music, singing hymns in the background. But this was more of a tourist attraction church because the lights were used to amplify every part of the architecture. You would find the windows, the ceilings, the pillars, everything as it would be in a Catholic church, but just a little bit turned up. But it was so incredibly beautiful having to see a church so adorned and appreciated in the way it was. And right after our beautiful visit at the church, we were hungry from praying, so we opted for the next pit stop, which was a small cafe which offered us something local, which was borek.
So we are still busy, and we have not stopped. Vianney found something new. It's called borek. So let's see.
So we have potato, meat, and cheese. So let's try it.
Was that cheese? Let me try. This is the potato one. It's so flavorful, but yeah, it's like a very thin pastry, almost like a roti croissant kind of a thing. Approved. So from this little cafe, we walked further up Istiklal Street until we reached the northernmost tip of Istiklal Street, where we finally got to Taksim Square. Now this was beautiful to see because we have a beautiful view of the Taksim Mosque as well, together with here where the plane is. We also just sat there for a bit, took a bit of a rest, but you've got all these flags that are there. Now the flag of Turkey is basically everywhere in the country. And then from there on, we also went past the War Memorial, which was interesting to see, but then we started getting hungry, so we headed towards a restaurant.
Now this restaurant was situated just across this beautiful mosque, and we were able to view it during the sunset. And at this beautiful restaurant we enjoyed more of the local Turkish cuisine.
We are trying the Lakshmun, something like that, which is a kind of a meat pizza, but you have to eat it in a certain way. So let's see what this is like. So basically you take a piece of it and then you roll it up and then you eat it. It is a nice meat appetizer. It's actually flavorful.
And the meat is wonderful. It's not too wild.
After our beautiful sunset experience, trying out local Turkish cuisine, we headed back to our hotel with a bus.
Hi fam.
It is the end of, technically I guess, day 2 of Istanbul. It was a rainy day, it was a wet day, it was a beautiful day. It felt like we were in Europe the whole day. The streets, everything was just beautiful. The food, I felt like I overate myself, to be honest. But it was such an awesome day. The mosques again are everywhere. It's just absolutely incredible.
They really are fantastic. And they are everywhere. The food here is really wonderful. The bread base of everything, it's amazing. It's so wonderful to try it every time. And we've tried all of the things. We love pide, and we're going to the Turkish pizza, and we're going to have that.
See you on the flip side of all of that. Ciao. So first off, obviously we were still in Istanbul, so we walked down to the street to go and grab a bus again because we needed to take the 1.5-hour journey back towards the airport. So we grabbed a bus first, then thereafter we grabbed a train, which was also a great experience again and so cheap. And then from there on we arrived and we were excited to be at the airport because it was a beautiful airport, because this is the same airport that we arrived in. So we walked around there a bit and this was truly cool to see. And we were excited because we were going to fly with Turkish Airlines for the very first time. But then something happened. This was not funny at all. We literally ran. Now they changed our gate. We were waiting. We are seeing it's like 5 minutes before the flight. We don't understand why they are not calling us to get onto the flight, just to see that we were at the wrong gate. Luckily,
we were at the right gate.
We were at the right gate that's on the ticket, but the wrong one according to them. So we needed to start riding and we did. But luckily the flight was 20 minutes delayed, so we actually did still make it on time, like right now. So here we go.
But it was a quick flight and we arrived at Kayseri Airport where we got our shuttle to Cappadocia, and on our way we had this beautiful view of the town and its surroundings and mosques upon mosques, and we snacked on Turkish delight which we bought in Istanbul. Now Turkish delight includes all of the different delicacies and sweet treats that you can have from Turkey, and it was just absolutely amazing and nothing in comparison to the ones that we have here in South Africa. We have just arrived in Cappadocia, Gorem, and we've just checked into our new hotel, so let's check it out. Welcome to our beautiful cave stone inspired bedroom for the next 2 stays. So here you can see our beautiful luxurious double bed, which is quite wonderful, and a beautiful Turkish carpet. A little study over here, it's quite beautiful. A password for Wi-Fi and everything. And then through here we have our beautiful shower. So this is our stay for the next 2 evenings. Yay!
And how much is it?
It is, I don't know how much for both nights. It's
1,000, so 500 rand a night.
So that's quite wonderful. Now we're gonna go out and try all the local food. After checking in, we took a walk through this small town, which reminded us of Grahamstown, this beautiful, snuggled small town that is just artistic and unique and lives and walks at its own pace. We then decided to stop at Panda restaurant, which had the most incredible view and decorations inside, and we had cheese sticks, pide, lemonade, as well as a new Turkish delicacy.
And now we are going to try the famous Turkey ravioli. It smells wonderful. It's beautifully decorated. Here we go. First bite. Oh my lord. It's thingy. The buttermilk.
Oh yeah?
That type of thing. The sourish thing. And there's a beautiful flavor. This is amazing. Vegan feels.
We're having some cornetto for the first time in Turkey, so let's see what this is like. Very nice. Perfect. Sweet. Cheese, everything.
After our delightful meal, we headed back to our hotel and we called it a day.
Good morning. It is a new day in the workroom. As you can see, it is a bit cold. But
It's very cold.
no, it's just a bit cold.
Frostbite out here.
So we are hoping to see the balloons today. Everybody is getting ready, as you can see. They are coming by. They are going to set up. There's another one. And yeah, we are really hoping to see it. We asked where the best spot is, so we are busy walking there. They say it's about a half an hour's walk. That's why we are up early. And let's see what happens. They say there's an 80% chance that they will go up. There's also a chance that it might be cancelled due to weather or whatever. But from what we can see, it is clear skies. There isn't much wind as well. It's just cold. So we really hope we see this, because this is what we came for essentially. So let's see what happens. Fingers crossed.
20 minutes later.
So we have made it to the viewpoint, so we'll see if it goes up. Just check this beautiful view. It is so beautiful. So yes, now we have to wait. So balloons can go either up here or there, which is Lovers Valley over here. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it goes up. And then finally it happened.
We saw a flickering of lights at the bottom of the hill, and slowly and steady balloons started going up one by one, and they just started multiplying, and it was just so wonderful to see these tiny balloons in the distance all filling the air and then moving closer to you. And it was just so wonderful having these multicolored hot air balloons cover the sky. They were surrounding us and it was almost reachable, but it was the most incredible delight for your eyes to see. It was a feast to explore, and it was just an absolutely amazing thing to see so many hot air balloons in the air surrounding you. And as the balloons kept on coming, multiplying, majestically flowing, the sun started to rise, and it was just absolutely beautiful to see these balloons all around you and them heading off over into Lovers Hill.
So yes, this was truly one of those bucket list moments that we are so happy that we could finally tick off, because it really is that beautiful. Now all of these images doesn't have any people, because this is truly an Instagram versus reality moment, because there is a lot of people. You actually struggle to get proper footage without any other people in it. It was really swamped with other people, but it just was an incredible moment. If I could go back, I would actually like to spend like 2 or 3 days there, and then hopefully see the balloons going up more than once, because like we said, when we went, it didn't go up for the previous 2 days, so it's really a luck kind of thing. They either go up or they don't. So, but yes, that was truly a joyous occasion, and yeah, everyone obviously wanted to be there. But then we also sat and waited for the balloons to go down, and we stayed right until the end. After that, when we were done, as we were on top of a hill, we just walked to the other side, so we also saw Lovers Valley without any of the balloons, because we just wanted to take it in, because it really is these strange structures. They look like asparagus, so the entire Gorem is filled with it, obviously. So that was quite interesting to see. And then as we walked our way back, we actually saw something that we've never seen before, and that's raisins literally growing. What are you eating?
I'm eating raisins. After that, we made our way down the hill, and it was just incredible walking through the streets of Gorem, because it's something incredible. It looked like a fairy tale. And as we walked past all of these beautiful landscapes, local houses, and the cafes, it led us to the place I wanted to go so badly, which was Maria's Breakfast Restaurant, which is known for the best Turkish breakfast in Gorem. And it was just absolutely beautiful being at this restaurant, having the best view of the entire Gorem, where we were also surrounded by these traditional stone houses that the Christians stayed in during the Ottoman Empire time. Then the Turkish breakfast arrived, which is called the kahvaltı. With our kahvaltı, we received the beautiful Turkish tea in its beautiful pot, and with that we were treated with menemen, which is an egg and tomato scrambled together, egg and sausage, which is called the sakıklı yumurta, which was quite wonderful, and it was a very interesting sausage that we enjoyed. We had a beautiful array of fruits, string cheese sticks and sausages, different types of breads, an array of cheese, and just to complete it all off, there were a lifetime supply of jam.
Then after this awesome breakfast kahvaltı experience, we started to head back towards the town, and we started walking around there, seeing all of the little shops and so on, curio shops, because obviously we needed to do some shopping, get some gifts and so on. And then we headed towards the Gorem Open Air Museum. So we are on our way to the Open Air Museum here in Gorem. Where the Christians stayed way back when, and where they were doing their hideouts and where they had churches. But the area of Cappadocia is named after, or the meaning is actually beautiful horses, or the place of the horses, and the reason is because there's a lot of horses. And here they are. And then we finally arrived at the Gorem Open Air Museum. So the Gorem Open Air Museum is specifically the part where all of the Christians stayed during the Ottoman and the Roman Empire, as they were obviously trying to hide from the Romans as well as the Ottomans in both of those periods, because they were trying to get away from them. Now it's basically an entire city underneath the ground. Now we didn't go to that part because I'm claustrophobic, so we didn't go there, but we did go to the church side of it, which is the Gorem Open Air Museum. Now this is truly beautiful to see, because this is basically the part where they would come for church. So it's basically they carved everything out of the rock formation, so they basically stayed inside of it. So they would then obviously paint it, which was beautiful to see. So it's basically the life story of Jesus inside of all of these little churches basically, and you could see all of the famous scenes from Jesus's life, which was very interesting to see. The only sad thing is you can't really see the faces, because obviously just when the Ottoman Empire took over and found the Christians, they obviously then went and scratched out all of the faces, because obviously there are no faces allowed inside mosques and so forth, and that's why they obviously scratched all of that out. But being at the Gorem Open Air Museum was truly such a beautiful experience. It actually felt like being on the set of like Flintstones or something, which was very, very, very interesting as well. So yes, it really is something interesting to see and to experience, and I would tell anybody to go. Really, it's a place to see.
After this experience, we went back to the main hub of Gorem to try the infamous
clay pot food experience, and we found it at this beautiful, delightful and cozy restaurant which was nestled in between two streets. And there we had lemon juice, flatbread and chicken clay pot, which is basically a chicken stew made in a specific clay pot, prepared and warmed and heated in it, and then they will bring it to your table. They will break the clay pot and then throw it in your plate and you can feast.
Let's try the pottery. So we've got some, what do you call this? Rice with something, and you get beef and you get chicken. So we opted for the chicken. So let's try it out. It's like a biryani. It's nice, but it's like a biryani basically, just that's made in a pot. The show was cool.
To end off our beautiful 2-day stay in Cappadocia, we opted for a stop at a coffee shop, and we were just so surprised by the friendliness and the warmth of the staff, and it was one of our few experiences with nice people in that side of the realm. And we had Turkish coffee, which was served in the most beautiful, artistically pleasing cup and saucer. We had kunefe, and for the very first time I tried salep.
Salep for the first time?
Oh, too much cinnamon. Oh my god. Oh my god. After our beautiful and delightful, cozy experience at this coffee shop, we then called it a day and we went back to our hotel and called it an early night so that we can get ready for the day thereafter.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is our last day in Cappadocia. Well, we are done basically. It's sad. It was an awesome time we had here. As you can hear the chickens, it is early in the morning. It is 6 o'clock. And that's how we want to end up Cappadocia. It is basically like one big farm town, actually. Well, you hear the chickens and yeah, that's
And
how
the
it
dogs.
is. And the dogs. And it's peaceful.
It is.
But it was good. And now we are headed to our next destination, which is Izmir.
So we woke up early to take our shuttle to the airport, and on our way to the airport we saw a last glimpse of the hot air balloons as we left Gorin. It was still dark outside and it was a beautiful sight to see. Then we arrived at Kayseri airport and it was the longest queue we've ever encountered. We lined up outside the airport. We had to get into a queue to get inside the airport, get into a queue to be checked through security, get into a queue to check in, and then get into another queue to get through to security, and one final queue to board the plane. Now our flight was with Sun Express. It was quick, short, about 45 minutes, and we finally arrived in Izmir. From the airport we took the train to get to our accommodation. Now the train was confusing at first as there were two different types of trains that you could use, but we figured it out and eventually we made it to our hotel.
So we are checking in at Kozan City Hotel, and we are staying in room 502, which is coincident because in Istanbul we also stayed on room floor. So here we go. Very basic, but it's here. So for Izmir, this is our stay. So we have 2 single beds. We think that they did this on purpose because they saw we had 2 men. Obviously they don't know, but we won't say anything. So yeah, 2 single beds over here, some extra blankets, some kitchen thing over there, and then over there finally we have a little coffee station, which is something we didn't have. Then over here we've got the aircon. We've got some cupboard space to store the bags, which we've already done because we are going out now for the day. And then on this side here, we've got the television over here. Not that it really helps, because something that we noticed is everything is in Turkish. There's literally no English channels, not even the radio station. So in any case, not really for us. Then over here is the mini bar over here. And then on the side we have the toilet and the shower. So shower over there, and then right next to it is the toilet. So yes, all basics, but exactly what we need for 2 nights before we head back to Istanbul. So after we checked into our hotel, we took a walk to the Agora. So we went through our local neighborhood, which is very interesting to see. It was kind of dingy, but also not. But it was quite interesting to see, again, a lot of mosques that we went past. So we are having some Chiang Mai Thailand flashbacks. We are here at the Agora, where we want to be, but we can't find the entrance.
And no one can speak proper English to help us. They only said right. So now we're writing and we're going to our second right.
And if we are not writing again and we can't get in, then it's too bad.
20 minutes later.
And we have made it, finally. So yeah, here it is. Let's see what it looks like inside.
10 seconds later.
We just stopped by some local place and we found one of the traditional dishes there, kokoreg, whatever it's called. It's basically a lamb sandwich. Well, the guy says it's lamb. Can I taste it? Rather. It's thingy. The thing I like so much.
What?
Flank. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's why it's so stringy.
Oh.
Ooh, that one tastes alive. Nice bread. Can't get the thingy, so let's go deeper.
Well, that food was a flop. I didn't taste it, so I just quickly gave it to some homeless people over there. Because they call it haram, can't waste haram. So yeah, rather gave them the food. So yeah, Vienna is not impressed. Let's fight. And then after our horrible trial of the kokorek, we headed finally inside to the Agora. Now the Agora is basically a city that was built by Alexander the Great, which was quite cool and interesting to see. So the biggest part of the remains that are still there is basically the water system, which is running underneath the city, of which is the place where they actually stored all of the water. And this is truly beautiful to see, with all of the arches that you can still see there, and all of this was basically underground and underneath the city. So this was truly awesome to see, and we spent quite a bit of time taking some photos over here.
Thereafter, we strolled down to the Izmir Bazaar. We started our tour at the fresh produce side. This is where all the locals would shop for their daily meal. Everything from the sea to the land was for sale, including vegetables and fruit. And we made our way through all the different stalls, from the jewelry section to the clothing, and then finally to the food section so we could get something to eat. After lunch, we walked to the famous Izmir Plain, which hosted the famous Izmir clock tower, which was designed and created by the same artist who did the Eiffel Tower. Now, right next to this beautiful clock tower was the most intriguing little mosque. This mosque is known as the Konak Mosque, and at the time that we visited there, it was time for the call of prayer, and we decided to take it all in, take in the beauty of the architecture of this beautiful mosque and also the beauty of the prayer. We also discovered that the Konak Mosque was the very first mosque built in Izmir, and thereafter we turned our focus
focus to the beautiful artistry of the clock tower, which was surrounded by these beautiful pigeons that would, as you approach them, just fly up and soar into the sky. And we further explored the square, and it was just a delightful sight. And as you look up, you are surrounded by the beautiful flag of the country. We also made our way to a local bakery and tried some more local delicacies.
So we are here at Marco's Cafe. It seems to be a very famous spot. So we're going to try the Izmir bomb, which is this one first. And then we've also got something called boyos. So let's see how it is. Food tour. It's chocolate, and it's a lot of chocolate. It's almost like a brown kind of a thing, but it's nice. And let's try the boyos. So this is called boyos. Let's try that. So we came to this spot because all of the locals are sitting here in front, so that's why we're having this. Not really tasting anything yet, but it's definitely like a pastry kind of thing. I swear it's just pastry. It's nice, but I think it's just pastry. And then directly after that, as per our tradition in every country, we went into the local grocery store, and then we got some items that were ridiculously cheap, a lot cheaper than you would get here in South Africa. And it's always so interesting to see what the grocery stores look like in every single country.
The next morning, we took an early morning train to head to the main attraction of Izmir.
Yay! It's actually so interesting because our train, as you can see, is very nice. We've got a little table over here. We've got some breakfast over here. We've got some limonata, which is obviously the thing that they all drink here. This is quite nice. We're really liking this. We've got some breakfast, we've got a summit over here, some coffee and so forth on our table. And then, but the interesting thing is this train ride is about, I think, 80 minutes or so. It's only costing us 40 rand. How crazy is that? 40 rand! That's ridiculous.
The 80-minute train ride allowed us to view the beautiful landscapes of the countryside, and then we arrived in a small town just next to Ephesus, which is Selçuk. We hopped off the train and then we took a taxi ride to Ephesus! We entered through the south gate because it was a quicker route to get to the library, because we wanted to take in the experience without any of the crowds, and also to do our general photo shoot. And thereafter we ran to get to the amphitheater to also experience it without the massive crowds.
10 seconds later.
So there's a reason we came early in the morning, because just check all of the people. There's the library, and now you see this masses of people. That's why we came early. At least we got the shot we wanted.
Yes,
that's
we
the
did.
important thing. So the Greek theatre hosts about 25,000 people, and the sound quality is absolutely amazing. It really is. If you stand right at the bottom, I did like a quick clap test, and then you would hear it echoing right up to the back. So yes, it was truly awesome to just see it with as less people as possible. And it was also obviously very cool to stand in the actual theater where Apostle Paul was when he spoke to the Ephesians, and basically where the letter in the Bible, the letter to Ephesians, comes from. So that was so cool to actually see and explore that. And then thereafter we strolled along the main street between the amphitheater and the library, where they usually had like their little markets and stalls. So then we went back back to the northern gate. Now this is quite a walk. I think it took us about 10-15 minutes walk just to get to the top. We didn't really try to see anything on our way back up so that we can explore everything as we went down. Now we downloaded the Rick Steves app, which is so cool because with the Rick Steves app we basically put the earbuds into our ears and then we listen to a walkthrough tour, so we didn't need a guide because Rick Steves on the app was basically our guide and he explained everything to us. So you basically walk little bit by little bit and he would tell you, okay, walk this way, and on your left hand side you would see this, and on your right hand side you would see that. So it's very cool. Now the city of Ephesus, here's a quick history lesson, was quite big. It was once one of the biggest, I think the second biggest city just after Rome, and it hosted about 250,000 people, and obviously it was a port, so it was just by the sea. Nowadays obviously the ocean and the sea is not there anymore as it receded back, but yes, it was a port, and this is obviously also the city, like I said, that Apostle Paul came to, and Maria, Jesus' mother, was also said to have been here at one stage. Now Ephesus was once one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, which is also cool because we are starting to tick all of those things off on our bucket list as well. But it was truly so amazing to see. It was absolutely awesome. I would highly recommend anybody to go there, and this is also the reason we flew to Izmir, obviously, is to go to Ephesus, and it was definitely worth it. I think maybe next time we'll take like a road trip to also do the Turkish Riviera, which is right next to it.
After our beautiful trip at the ancient city of Ephesus, we headed back to the small town of Selçuk, and here we decided to have lunch.
So as we do in every new country we go to, we have to try their beer. So here we go. We are having Efes, and what makes this special is this is obviously their local beer, but what makes it even more special is we are close to Efes. So Efes is the word for Ephesus. So here we go. So let's try it out. It looks very strong though. Let's see, 100% malt. Ooh, it's gonna be better. 5% alcohol. Let's see.
I know this. Casa Light. Casa Light.
It is very strong. It is a typical beer, but it's also soft at the same time.
It's giving me all the feels.
Together with the Sprite, that's why we always take Sprite and the beer. It's going to work perfect. And also, just quickly check behind Vienna. You'll see there are these men sitting there, and there's like an entire village basically just behind him, and it's just men coming together and playing Rummy Cup. There's more. This is the oddest thing we have ever seen. And they stare at the two of us like hectically.
Because I've never seen such beautiful human beings dressed so perfectly matching with each other.
So there is something we have to discuss that has never happened to us before. So obviously we've got our cute little outfits for the day, but this whole day, it's Vienna's fault, but this whole day people have been staring at us like crazy. They would look at us quickly and then do a double take to see if they are seeing correctly. They would literally stop their conversations with each other and then look at us, stare at us, and this has been ongoing the whole day.
So, another thing in this beautiful place is that English is non-existent. They don't speak it. They don't put it on notice boards or anything at all. People will even have phone conversations with you in Turkish, and for some other reason they always just think I am Spanish, so they start flowing over with whatever language they know from there. So that's it.
No English, you can forget about it. Not on boards, nowhere. Actually, where there is English, such as restaurants or so, usually those prices are higher as well.
Yes.
Now the next day, this was then the end of our trip in Izmir, or so we thought, but then we needed to head back towards the airport, so we took the train, and then when we got to the airport, so we just checked in, we are finished at Izmir, and we thought we are right on time just so that we can do everything, and then flight delay was 1 hour and a half. So we are sitting here at the airport for an extra hour and a half, so let's see what we'll do for an hour and a half extra. Now basically for the extra hour and a half, we just decided to walk through the airport. We stopped at the Starbucks, and this is basically where we started to fall in love with Starbucks, future Quentin and future Vianney, because then we saw that they actually have different seasonal coffees, which we absolutely love. And then thereafter we decided, as we have the time, to go for a super cheap massage. It was only like 10 rand, which was awesome, in these chairs that are all over the airport, so that was quite nice to try. And then we hopped onto the plane, we boarded the plane to Istanbul, and we actually had some great food. Then we landed back in Istanbul, and so we are back in Istanbul. We just arrived from Izmir, but this was quite some hectic traveling day because the flight got delayed. It took us what? How long did it take us to get here from the airport? 2 hours?
Yeah.
About 2 hours. Traffic was hectic, so we had to shift our plans a bit. So we're not doing exactly what we wanted, so we are on our way to the Egyptian Bazaar. What time is it now? It's close to 6. And Egyptian Bazaar closes 7:30, so, and we haven't seen it properly yet, so we want to go there and then check it out and see what that is like, and then we'll see what the rest of the evening brings.
Here we go.
And we are here in the streets of our little neighborhood. This is what it looks like in our neighborhood, and we are on the hunt for some baklava. And at that moment we found the perfect baklava shop where all the locals kept on shopping, so we just knew this is the place to get the baklava, and it was super cheap. It was the cheapest we could see from all of the places. We went all over Turkey at this time. It was only about 200 rand, or I think a little bit less even, per kilo. So yes, that was awesome, but most delicious baklava. And then after that we walked down to the Egyptian Bazaar, which was a spice bazaar, more specifically back in the day, and it was funded, obviously, as the name says, by the Egyptians. Now the Turkish flags are basically outside of each and every single shop, which is beautiful to see. The roof is extremely beautiful, so really such an awesome place to see. And they have different shops selling an array of Turkish delights that you can see everywhere. They also have tea sets, spices obviously, and then obviously there's a lot of baklava, and then some other stalls sold some clothing. There were also some dried fruits that you could see everywhere, as well as sweets, and there was a bunch of leather shops as well.
From the bazaar, we made our way to the streets in search of street food, and we passed the Yeni Cami mosque, and it was just wonderful just to take it all in as the call of prayer started again, and we just took in the beauty of the mosque as night began to fall. And our first treat of the evening was a donut and a wet burger, and we even tried the local lokma.
And now we are trying the famous lokma. Here we go. Wow. It's like a croissant cook system.
You think that it's gonna taste like a normal donut, but it's not. It's like a syrup kind of a donut.
After that, we made our way over the Galata Bridge, and we enjoyed the views along the way, and we had a pit stop for some Turkish ice cream. Thereafter, we made our way to the Galata Tower, where we would try the Sebastian cheesecake once more. We tried it at the second Varela restaurant, which is just down the street, where you also had a beautiful view of the Galata Tower. Now, Quentin did enjoy the cheesecake, but I still was not convinced that the Sebastian cheesecake was the best in the world. And after our second taste of that, we walked back down from the Galata Tower to our hotel because we had to wake up very early the next morning.
So we woke up very early this morning for the two main attractions here in Istanbul, so Blue Mosque and Ayran Pier. And there it is, there's the first one. We sort of hoped that there wouldn't be as many people, but we made a great mistake. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and it's busy already. Maybe it's just busy with locals that are going to pray, I'm guessing, because it is almost prayer time, so maybe it's that. But we just want a couple of shots with not as many people, so hopefully we can get there. Now, first off, we went to the Blue Mosque, which is highly awaited because obviously there's a big hype around it. So first off, on our way to the Blue Mosque, we decided to get our normal breakfast for the last time, which is simmet. So we got a cheese simmet as well as a Nutella simmet, and then we walked and we waited outside of the Blue Mosque. The line went very quick. There were only about 10 people in front of us, which was absolutely awesome. We couldn't go in with just our shorts like in all of the other mosques. We had to wear these sarong kind of things, so we had that, and then we were inside the mosque, but it was not as cool as we thought it would be. It was actually a bit of a disappointment. It's not as blue because that's obviously where the name comes from. They say it's from all of the blue tiles, and we thought it would be a bit more blue, but it is just not. So it was actually quite disappointing for us. Yes, the detail is there and it's beautiful, and the chandeliers are there and it's beautiful, and the carpet, but it's just not as grandeur as we thought it would be, especially with the hype that is around it. However, the outside is truly beautiful. I do love the outside of it. So obviously the name comes from all the tiles on the inside and not from the look on the outside, so it's not blue on the outside, but I thought that the outside was better than what it was on the inside. That's just our personal opinion, and yes, we are very happy that we went early though, because you'll see later on why.
And after our visit at the Blue Mosque, we hopped down to the Hagia Sophia, and here we had to wait in the longest queue ever. This was seriously the main tourist attraction, and it was our first time being trapped in something that housed so many visitors. But the queue did go very fast, and we made our way through to the very front. We were part of the very first group of people that went in for the morning. We went through security checks and then we entered. Now this is really, again, once we got inside, the biggest tourist attraction in Turkey. It's similar to what you would find in Paris with the Eiffel Tower, but we completely understand why, because it is incredible. The richness of the color and the texture of everything, and the angels' faces that were unveiled, it was just so gripping. Even though it was packed with people, you still could just feel the essence of the holiness that was there. We had a few people that were praying because it's still an active mosque, and how you would see the old and the new and how they would collide, and how the Catholicism would take over, and then the Islamic traits will meet and then take over, and it was just a beautiful flow over from the one religion to the other, with the beautiful drawings, and the chandeliers were just immaculate. It was just so royal and rich inside.
Now, a little history lesson of the Hagia Sophia. Obviously, at first it was built as a Catholic church, and then it went over and it was taken over during the Ottoman Empire, and it became a Muslim mosque, obviously. But that's what makes this church so special, because obviously in a mosque you are not allowed to have faces, but as this is a tourist attraction and it was a museum at once before it became a mosque again, is they started excavating some of it, so there's actually faces in this mosque. So after our visit there, we went to the Topkapi Palace, which is just behind the Hagia Sophia. We just went there for a quick photo just to go and have a look there, and this is where the Sultan stayed back in the day. And then Vianney needed the toilet, so we made our way back to the Blue Mosque, because that's the only, ridiculously enough, that's the only public toilet that was close by where all of these tourists are, so we had to go all the way back to the Blue Mosque.
Guys, as you can see, it is full with people, and this is the reason why we woke up early this morning, to make sure that we could get a perfect unrushed view.
And this is the other queue. So this morning, that's the entrance over there. We were literally standing right over here and we got in. This is the other mosque, the Blue Mosque queue. And that's why you come early. Just check there. And Vianney is fixing his hair like he does the whole trip through. Yeah, check this line, check this line, check this line. All the way around. Actually, that's not where the line ends. So we were standing there filming the video showing you this side, but it comes out this way, this way, this way, this way, and then all the way. Wow. So after this, we just walked around the Hippodrome, where there's the old Egyptian obelisk that you can see, which is now right in the middle. And this is obviously where they had all of their kart races back in the day. And then after the mosque visit,
we went to the very first mall in the world, which opened in 1461, and this is the Grand Bazaar, which is still one of the biggest mall complexes in the entire world. Now, it was packed with an endless sea of people shopping and feasting on Turkish delight. The decoration on the ceiling this time was more minimalistic, but it was still effective and effortlessly beautiful. But the people were just too many and it was too busy, so we decided to go elsewhere, and we took a tram to Balat. Now, Balat is known for its vibrantly multicolored buildings and traditional European architectural finishings. We lived our best Instagram life here, and we had the most beautiful moments in a normal street, and we explored the rest of the neighborhood, and we made it to the center, which was again filled with tourists taking photos, making videos, and it made it quite impossible and to enjoy, because everywhere there was just people and you couldn't take in the beautiful decor. The cafe and restaurant owners were also quite frustrated, and they'd stop people from entering their establishments if the people only came in to take photos or videos, so they didn't allow us to go in. It was also difficult to navigate your way through to the different parts of this beautiful colored street and this vibrancy in the decoration, and you couldn't enjoy the lifestyle because it was packed and it wasn't an easy move from one place to the other. So we headed back to our hotel, grabbed all our stuff, and we hopped on the bus, and we arrived at the airport, where we had our last pide, a mixed pide at Pide M, and we also indulged in kunefe for the very last time. And then finally we were on board back to our hometown, South Africa.
Oh, so we thought. Bum, 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 because now something happened. First, our flight was slightly delayed. It was delayed for 30 minutes at first, and then after they said it was delayed for another 30 minutes, of which after that they taxied us out to the workstation, and they said they can't start up the plane, they have to do it manually. They tried again, so after sitting on the plane for an hour and a half, nothing happened, and they said, "We are so sorry to let you know, guys, that your flight is cancelled." please don't worry. The people and the staff at the airport will assist you. There's no need to worry. That's what we thought until we met the chaos. So at first we needed to hand in our passports because they needed to make copies of it so that we can get back into the country. But chaos erupted because there were hundreds of people. There was another flight that was cancelled, not only ours, and chaos erupted. People started fainting. I just started laughing. I thought it was very funny. I just took in the moment of all of this. We needed to go back through passport control, so all of this took I think another hour or two. We finally got back through passport control. Then we needed to collect our bags, and that was just such a big mess because all of the bags were just placed on top of each other. What a mess. And then they said, okay, all of us now need to run because we need to get to the bus station. So all of us ran, everybody obviously trying to be first, ran again. Now we finally got to the bus station. They said, no, just wait, the buses are on their way, just wait a half an hour. And so we waited a half an hour, but nothing happened. So we just started from over there, waiting like almost an hour. Came to this side, waited another half an hour. We are here now, probably going to wait another half an hour because we need to get there for the buses, because they are checking each and every single person individually. And then we finally boarded the bus only at 1:20 in the morning. We were still waiting. Now at this time we were very frustrated because this was now about 4 hours I think after we were supposed to have taken off already. Then it was another hour's drive back towards Istanbul to get a hotel, which was just such a big mess because they couldn't really tell us where we would stay or what the accommodation would be like. But we finally arrived there just for more mess to come along and more chaos, because now we needed to stand and wait in even more queues because they needed to check us in. Obviously there's a lot of people, and then the Emirates staff also started with their nonsense because they said, okay, all of you have to be out by 11 o'clock, but we received a message on our app, on our Emirates app, that our flight would only be the next evening around about 11 o'clock at night. Now obviously that means we only need to be at the airport by like 9 o'clock. So we were just like, I'm sorry, we are not going to do this. We are not leaving the next morning at 11 because that means we'll have to sit at the airport the whole day. And they said, no, there's going to be a flight at 3. So we thought, okay, whatever. So we just stayed there in the morning. We had some breakfast, and then they said, okay, they will only make an arrangement for us at the hotel. So we stayed there, we slept, which was great. And then eventually they kept us there, and we only left with the taxi. So we took the taxi around about 6-7 o'clock. We took the taxi and we arrived back, and then when we got to board the plane, we met all of the other South Africans that left 11 o'clock in the morning that stayed with us. So they were there at the airport from 11 o'clock in the morning because of the lies that people told. But yes, in the end we boarded and we made our way back to South Africa. So yes, that brings our conclusion of Turkey.
But until then, we'll see you
In Bangkok!
next time on Kiwi Travel Adventures.
We are a bit shocked by some of the prices since we were here last. Some of these prices are almost triple, yes. Let's see what's happening here at the Chinatown. We are basically actually just looking for one thing. Is it nice?
Oh my god.
Vienna, there's some scorpion behind you.
I think we need another one for the road. This is the one, guys.